Well, welcome to How's Your ePresence? This is a show produced by ePresence, and I am Mark Galvin, the founder and president of that firm. I'd like to give a special shout out and a thanks to our director of social media, Mr. Eric Welch. He is our producer and in the background helping us make sure that we are producing a great product. So thank you, Eric. We appreciate you being here. Please make sure you subscribe to our channel so that when we're going to go live. This is a special evening edition of our show, How's Your ePresence? And there's that. Oh, I always do that wrong. It's over there. So hit that button down there here on YouTube so you know when we go live. We're always sharing great content so that you can be better. You can learn more. You can simply make more money using social media. And today we've got a great guest to really highlight some ways that you can make a little more money. But before we get there, let me share this. We continue to run our webinars for those of you that are out of work, on furlough, or want to make more money on your social media. So this is all focused on LinkedIn. It's all focused on cleaning up your LinkedIn profile. This is the deal. 87% of LinkedIn message are returned when you have a profile that is robust. So you want to make sure you have a great profile. Come join us in an hour. We're going to give you the 5 key things that'll make your profile rock. And it's only $37.50. And if you're in Australia, you can join us too. I'm sure, we'll be happy to take your, we'll take Australian dollars here in the US. So hopefully you get a chance to join us. The link is there at the bottom of the screen. You can join us at e-pr.me/discount. This is a special price that we're offering to folks right now because of the struggles that we're going through as a worldwide economy. Back in the day, back in 2008, when we had our other financial crisis, there were 35 million people on LinkedIn. Today, there's 710 million. So there's a lot more people here. Your first impression is right online. So let us help you create a great first impression. All right. So today we have a great show. No news tease. We're going to go straight into our guest. So I'm very excited to introduce you to Edward Zia with Excellence Above Coaching. Where is Edward?
Hey, it's an honor being here, Mark. How you doing?
I am good. I am so good. So, Edward, where are you?
Well, I am in a place called Sutherland, which is probably about 20 miles south of, let's say, the Sydney Opera House. And I'm completely disheveled because my train was delayed. So I've literally just found a quiet spot to talk to you beautiful people across the world.
I love this. And this is what's so awesome is technology is amazing. You just grabbed your phone. You're out there talking to us. I see a heater behind you. What's the temperature there? Is it winter or is it?
Well, it actually is winter. So I think in American terms, our winter is about 70 degrees Fahrenheit. It doesn't get really that cold here.
Oh,
so this is our winter. Subtropical.
You're not wearing a jacket. Well, that's great. And I've heard so many great things about Australia. I think I need to come down there and have a cup of coffee with you sometime soon. So are you good with that?
I can't wait. We'll have more than a coffee. We'll have a shrimp on the barbie too.
Oh, that sounds like a blast. Well, tell everybody what you do. And I'd love for you to share how we met.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm a high-performance master coach, and I help people across the world become master persuaders and influencers. And we met on none other than the Microsoft LinkedIn platform. That's the only place where you meet great people these days is Microsoft LinkedIn.
And I will tell you this, folks, this is what's impressive is I love LinkedIn. I was interacting with a post from somebody from the US. Edward was also interacting with that post. He saw me. He sent me a note. You have chats every night. Do you run your chat there in Australia?
Yeah. So actually twice a week we actually run webinars. So one's more education, one's a networking event. And that's how in such a short space of time I've been able to become like an international influencer and build such a great global community. Because the biggest thing that I've learned, especially in the times of Corona, is a lot of people, it's not about race, it's not about skin color, sexuality, religion that brings people together. It's about shared values that brings people together. And whether someone's living down the road or, they're 10,000 miles away in the glorious United States, it makes no difference. It's similar people of great values coming together.
Well, the reason, as soon as we connected, the thing that struck me is you said that you've been on LinkedIn really leveraging it for 2
Yes.
years, and you have how many followers are you up to? I know what it was when I talked to you about coming on the show, but you probably have more now. What was your number? What are you up to now?
Well, it's interesting. And so I'm about to hit 55,000 followers on LinkedIn, which is awesome. And my business page, I never think about my business page is more like the poor cousin that I never think about. That I think is about 13,000 followers. So my business
Wow.
page has been the poor cousin that's been taking off. And I only tweaked to that this morning. So, and also my wife, Lassie, we both work together helping people. She, I think, just hit 33,000 followers. So it's been life-changing and amazing.
So you got 55,000 followers. How many connections do you have?
Oh, it's funny that I actually was checking that last. I've got about 28,500 connections, something like that.
Yeah, okay.
But my connections, I've actually lost a lot of connections. Like my followers have done that. I've actually lost a lot of connections lately. A lot of people have actually removed me as a connection.
Huh. Well, that's really interesting. And that could be good because you're about to butt up to that 30,000 cap, and you don't want to get in the case where you have to remove people to add new connections. And I think this is an important distinction. There's a lot of folks that may be listening that don't realize that you can have followers and you can have connections. And the followers, so all of you, I would encourage everyone out there, go out, look up Edward on LinkedIn. We're going to give you his link here at the end of the show, and you can follow him. What that does is it gives you access to his content. So as he's sharing all this great content in his feed, you'll be able to get that. Now, you can also send him a connection request, but I would encourage you to first build a relationship with Edward before you send him a connection request. And a lot of people are doing this, Edward. They're following first, building a relationship, and then they'll send a connection request. And I think that's a smart tactic to build your community. What do you think?
Oh, I couldn't agree with you more. Like, for example, one of my mentors and friends is Scott Adams, the creator of Dilbert.
Oh, sure.
And yeah, A-lister, and I got nothing but praise for Scott Adams. I did exactly that with Scott Adams. So I originally got into Scott Adams and Dilbert probably early last year. And I did exactly that. I followed him on LinkedIn. I liked and commented a stack of his posts. I bought one of his ebooks. I left a 5-star review on Amazon. And then I sent him a message saying, "Hi, Scott, I'm a big fan. I bought your book. I left a 5-star." And he connected with me and he started talking to me when I was a nobody. And he's like an A-lister. He, again, love or hate Donald Trump. He is one of Trump's mentors and advisors. So, love or hate Donald Trump, this guy's advising the president of the Western world.
Wow, that is impressive. And it's great. And part of the reason why someone was willing to connect to you, or he was willing to chat with you, is that you are an influencer on LinkedIn. And that creates, well, let's be honest, that opens some doors. Well, one of the questions I want to ask you is, and we already know the answer to this, so it's more of how, but how has social media helped your success? And if so, how? So we know it has. How has it helped your success?
Well, I'll answer that question in 3 ways. 3 ways to answer that question. Number one, and social media, more LinkedIn. I'm more of a LinkedIn guy. So from a LinkedIn social media point of view, it's done 3 things. Number one, it's given me such an awesome new flow of clients. So for example, in the old days, I used to spend my time chasing clients all the time. Clients come to me now, usually sign up at least 2 or 3 new clients a week. I used to sign up 1 new client a month. So I'm so happy with that, right? So happy. Number one, so it's given me more clients. Number two, it's given me the opportunity to connect with awesome influencers across the world. People like yourself, people like Scott Adams. And the third thing is that it's allowed me to achieve a level of self-actualization. And that, what I basically mean is that it's helping me achieve what I really want to do in life. So for example, I'm quite active in politics. And my influencer platform has also given me a political platform to help, support we're in Australia, we're British, we're not American. We have prime ministers, not presidents.
So we do have a pause here. Edward's connection got a little slow here. Ooh. So Edward, there you go. He's back. But Edward, I want to ask you a question. You briefly said that you have prime ministers, you don't have presidents. And you were talking about politics. Explain to our viewers the difference in politics in Australia, and what are the terms for a Conservative Party and a Democratic Party, and how do you fall?
Exactly. So we got a very different system here. So we're British. We loved our British ancestors. We didn't turn on them like you guys did, right? So we love the British, and we're still British, right? We're still British. Society, civically, we're all British descendants. We use the British system. We love the UK, where you guys threw them out, and so it's a very different system to you.
We
guys.
actually shot at them, for the record. I just want you to know
exactly. Yeah. Good old George Washington.
That's right.
Cool little hat.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Cool. Those Continental Cavalry hats, you were all wearing that, shooting at raincoats. Anyway, so what it is, so in Australia, I'm a member of the Australian Liberal Party. Now, the word liberal has a different meaning in our language. It means conservative right wing in Australia, the Liberal Party. So we mean liberal in the classic sense, like as in liberty, freedom. That's what we actually mean, if it makes sense.
Yeah, that does make sense. And technically, that's what liberals means. And in the U.S., we've changed it to be more of the opposite of what it, a larger government versus a smaller government. That's kind of the difference between our Conservative Party and the Democratic Party in the U.S. So that's really interesting. So is he selling something? What is that going on over there?
I'm in a strange world right now. There's this interesting fellow just going down the street singing, and looks quite benevolent, but insanely benevolent. We'll say insanely
Very
benevolent.
Funny.
But this all happened because just for the sake of the audience, my train was late, and hence I just had to get off and just rush to a quiet corner. But it's a crazy world that we live in. But anyway, so what it is, so you would say I'm centre-right. So Australians are naturally sort of a centre-right wing sort of population. So we're sort of like Republicans who love welfare. I'll give you that answer. That's trying to translate it into we're different, but we sort of fit into that spectrum in American terms.
That's perfect. So and that helps us a good bit. That helps our audience a good bit. So you've talked about how social media has helped you. How did you go about growing your audience so that you could leverage social media like you are today? So you did say a few years ago you were not getting 2 clients a week. You were getting
one a month.
One a month. All right. So what an incredible change. What did you do to grow your audience like you have?
Well, the first thing was, and this is the start of 2019, was launch what we call an influencer strategy. That was the first thing that I did. So what an influencer strategy involves is building yourself as an influencer. And the way I went about that was sharing amazing content. That's what I suggest anyone watching to do. The way you want to start is by sharing incredible content, okay? The better the content you share is the faster you're going to take off and the more you're going to win. So start by sharing absolutely amazing and incredible content, such as videos,
and we're sharing great content now. And this is what's great. This is live feed. So there's some feedback in the background, but we still got to hear you well, Edward. So just so you viewers know, Edward is traveling. He is on the road. He has stopped to talk to us because of, transportation can be a challenge all over the place. So Edward, you're good. I just want to make sure everybody understood that all that background noise it's part of the beauty of this show.
Yeah. And I just want to say apologies and thank you. I found a quiet spot, but we've got kids on skateboards going past. We've got crazy people singing. It's like I've gone into it's like I'm in a slip. I think I'm still dreaming. I don't think I've woken up yet. I think this is all some weird dream that's playing out. I'm not really.
What time is it there? What time of day is it?
It is 9:08 a.m. and I just had this thought of Leonardo DiCaprio. I bet you I don't know if you've seen the film Inception, but remember how he spins
great movie.
Yeah, I bet you if I spin that top, it keeps spinning. I'm definitely in either a simulation or a dream right now. So there you go. It's my only explanation for what's going on.
That's perfect. So you're talking about sharing content is how you grew your audience. So sharing content is a great thing, and everybody should do that. How often were you sharing content? Once a day, twice a day, once a week? What'd that look like?
Well, I started sharing content. I had some people who were actually not really helping me at the start. I had some people that were being really mean to me and really slowing my success at the start. And what was interesting, I started posting once a day, okay?
All right, so we have a pause
it
here.
worked.
There we go. So we lost you. You
Yep.
said once a day. We lost you for a moment, and then what did you say after that?
Yeah.
You were posting once a day.
Yeah. So started posting once a day, and it was working absolutely beautifully. And I then started going to 2 or 3 times a day, and these people that weren't very nice to me, you know, you should only post once a day. You shouldn't post more. They were trying to discourage me from posting more.
Right.
And I just kept going. And now I post 10 times a day, and I've been absolutely kicking butt. So I kind of ignored and moved on from those people giving me a hard time, and now I'm winning. So I post 10 times a day, and it works great.
Now, so you're posting content, you're posting 10 times a day. What are you posting?
Yeah, it can be invites to my events. It can be me doing quick videos, me putting out, you know, advice, a lot of business tips and inspiration based on what I do, and it works incredibly well.
Now, I've got to share with our audience something that you do that I think is brilliant, and it is one of the most effective ways to interact with your connections or your audience, for that matter. You don't send a message in LinkedIn. You don't. Well, let me say that. Shouldn't say you don't. You send videos or little voice messages instead of typing in, "Hi, Mark, I'll see you in 20." You pop on as a video inside my messaging as "Mark, I'll see you in 20 minutes. I'm on the train. Hey, send me the link to the show." This is cool, and it's extremely engaging. And I have encouraged many people to do this. A lot of folks are not as comfortable in front of a camera as you are, so they get a little nervous. But did you find that tactic was really effective? And is that why you did it, or you did it because you were comfortable? How did that work?
I did not send voice or video messages because I found it comfortable. I actually found it very uncomfortable. I did it because it's highly effective, which it is. Because at the end of the day, and I'm the same way, like if I connect with someone, if someone just flicks me text, I'm not that engaged. If someone sits there and talks to me and sends me a video or an audio, I take it more seriously. So people actually started talking to me that way, and I just do it as a default, and it works great. That's one of the reasons why I'm doing so well on LinkedIn, is because to me it's a sign of respect. If someone contacts me and I send them a minute audio message, what a sign of respect. Because here's the thing: if you want to get respect, you have to first start by giving respect. And what better way than sending someone a personal message?
I love that. If you want to get respect, you need to start by giving respect. And I think that's brilliant. Yeah. So you sent me a message, and I'm kind of rehashing this just for the audience. You sent me a voice message, and I got it overnight. I was in bed because you were up and you were working. Yeah. And you said, "Hey, Mark, I'd love for you to join the webinar coming up tomorrow night." And I responded to you. Do you remember how I responded? What was I doing? I was on the elliptical at 5 a.m. in the morning. And I and I gave you a video. I shot you a video. Yeah, you entered. There's 55,000 people in your audience, so it's totally cool if you forgot this. But I'm on the elliptical, and I'm like, cool. This guy likes video. This is awesome. So I hit the video, and I said, "Hey," and I'm sitting there, and my arms are flying, and I'm on the elliptical, and I said, "Edward, thank you for the message. I can't wait. I can't wait to join you. I will be there soon." I got off the elliptical, so your show started before I finished, and so I walked up and jumped on the webinar with you right from my kitchen as soon as I finished. I want to urge all of you to look at this. Look at the messaging app inside LinkedIn. You hit the little plus symbol, and you get all these little icons. You can send a video chat with someone. And here's something else. You don't have to worry about typos, right, Edward? There's no typos in a video message. So you don't have to worry about typing Edward's name wrong. You know, if he goes by Ed, hopefully he'll forgive you. This is a really big thing. There's an organization in the US that's doing this now. They're setting it up where you can record a voice video message, and it will package it and send it by email. That's a great idea. I've encouraged people who have brought that up. Just go on LinkedIn, connect to your target audience, and send them a video message right on LinkedIn. It'll save you a little bit of money, and it's still just as personal. Do you think that someone on social should be very formal or informal? What do you think works better?
I think they should be authentically them. I think they need to be real. So if you're the sort of person that loves wearing suits, you should wear a suit. If you're a lady that likes wearing short skirts, then wear short skirts. You got to dress authentically. You got to dress to your character.
Be yourself, and so show up as yourself. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, and dress to your character as well. So based on the character that you are and what you're trying to portray. So for example, suits do not suit me and what I'm trying to do. They just don't suit my narrative or my flow or my storyline. Right?
So for all of you that are not watching the video, I have a jacket on. And so when he started talking about the suit, I kind of straightened my collar and straightened my jacket. But it talks about personality, and I'll talk a little bit of personality when we go on. But this is good, Edward. So you don't wear a jacket. You are much more comfortable. Every time I see you, you always have sunglasses on your head. Do you ever take those off your head?
Well, it depends. If I'm outside, Australia is a very sunny place. The sun's always out, right?
Right.
And it's a very bright place. So if you're not wearing sunglasses, we're in the southern hemisphere. Most of Australia's desert. You need sunglasses a lot in Australia, or you just can't see. You're just squinting all day, which gives you a thumping headache after an hour or two.
Right. A thumping headache. I love that. Okay.
Squint like that, Australian sun, you'll get a headache before you know it, and you'll not be happy.
That doesn't look pleasant at all. All right. So we've talked about content. You are sharing first-person content. You're not necessarily focused on, and I'd like to talk about an 80-20 rule. 8 pieces of content need to be just helpful content. 20% can be selling. If you constantly sell, you can run people off. How do you apply that, or do you sell all the time? I'm just curious.
The answer is I apply the 80-20 rule as you framed it, and it works great. And because at the end of the day, putting out a tip I see it all as actual selling, to be honest with you. Like if I'm doing a tip, giving tips and value, it's still selling because I'm building my brand. But I know the way I'm going to frame it is 20% of my posts are call to actions, meaning, hey, book into our webinar, check out our program, sign up to X, where the rest is more just tips and information.
Okay. Do you mind if I've heard, certainly we have call to action CTAs in the US that we talk about a good bit. That's actually a better way to frame it. 80% of the time share quality content, 20% of the time have a call to action. And you do. You are
100% is selling. It's all selling, but 20% is call to action, where the other 80% is brand building.
And that's a brilliant point. And it is important to share that. You can sell by just simply sharing great content. And I, on the social media side, like this podcast, this video cast is an opportunity to sell, but I am more interested in providing great content because it does help, let people know that we can help them with social media. It also lets them know that we care, and we really do. We want people to do better on social media. And if they can do it themselves, great. I'm going to give you all the tools to do it. But by constantly sharing quality content, it will still build up our brand, ePresence's brand, and my brand, so it can help us sell. It's a very good point, and I think it's great that you tease that out. So, what about a strategy? Do you have a strategy on social? Did you sit down at the beginning of the year and say, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that, and that?
Yeah, very strategic. So I thought through, because I used to be a nobody, right? And I thought, I'm sick of being a nobody. How do I become a somebody? So I came up with a game plan. I thought, if I share really good content every day on LinkedIn and I connect personally with all my fans, that'll work. And surprise, surprise, it did. And as time passes, you get better at your content, you do a more thorough job, and it's worked beautifully for me. So strategy is everything. You got to have a game plan. You don't just live for the moment, you work to a plan, and I love doing it as much as possible.
So you said something at the beginning of that. You said you were a nobody. What do you mean?
Yeah. Well, I was a nobody. So I'm in the city of Sydney in the beautiful country of Australia, and locally, I was not a nobody, but I was known a little bit. I was a little bit of a local influencer. You would say, call me a C-list celebrity, right? Probably a D-list to go to a C-list celebrity, right? Okay. On a local level.
All right.
A B-list yet. Working my way. It's not even a B-lister. I would say I'm a B-lister now, right? Definitely a B-lister these days.
Good.
But anyway, the point is that at the time I was a complete nobody, and I kind of realized LinkedIn is the way forward for me. And I knew by sharing daily content, I'll find, and I was correct. I was correct. I'll find my audience and I'll get better at it. And the thing is that what happens is, as I mentioned earlier, I've had a lot of people actually remove me as a connection and unfollow. So overall, my followers are going through the roof. However, people actually leaving me every day. Overall, I'm growing through the roof. But I have a chunk of people that unfollow me and remove me as a connection every day because they don't agree with my message. And you know what? All I can say is good riddance. You know, I'm not interested either. So,
Right.
yeah, it's like, I don't need you and I don't want you. Just please go. But if you love what I'm about, I love you back. And I think it's very important. You got to find your audience and accept that people don't like you. And the sooner they move on, the better it is for everyone.
So this is important. And I talk about this in a lot of my training, and that is understand who your audience is and speak to that audience. And if someone's not in your audience and they don't like your messaging, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. So I'm interested in speaking to people who know that social media is important. If someone, and Edward, this has happened, and you've seen this probably in your world as well. You sit down with someone and they'll say certain things that you realize they are absolutely in a whole different world than you are. Here's my whole different world person. I sit down, we're having a cup of coffee, and they start the conversation with, I'm not on Facebook, I'm not on LinkedIn, I don't get Instagram, and Twitter is absolutely the weirdest thing in the world. I don't understand social at all. And I say, great. I hope you enjoy that coffee because I got another appointment to go to. I cannot teach someone to like or appreciate social media sitting in front of them. They're not my audience. So I don't speak to those people. I speak, meaning I'm not trying to contour my message to say, gosh, if you don't like social media, call me. I'd love to help you. No, that's too hard. That's too big a leap. Finding your target audience and focus on them is important. And you've done that. And you're okay because you've got people that you're connected to there. So I'm done with Edward's content because it doesn't speak to me. And that's all right. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. We're talking politics at the moment as well. I'm quite active in local politics, and the way it works is, and I'll give you an example, and it's actually a little bit of racism that kicks in. So I come from a Middle Eastern background, right? So I come from a Middle East, so proud Australian Middle Eastern guy. Just to give you some context, in Australia, it's full of wonderful Middle Eastern people like myself, right? So Middle Eastern origins, Australia, right? And what's interesting is that what we actually get, you actually get a bit of racism. I actually get a lot of racism aimed at me in that because I vote more right-wing, you get a lot of people on the left who don't like me because it's sort of like, well, Ed, you're a man of color. You're not a white person. You should be voting for us. How dare you vote against us? How dare you be a man of color and not vote in our interests? So I've actually copped a lot of we call it political racism. I've copped a lot of that lately because I don't vote for the left as a man of color. They call me a race traitor. So I've copped a lot of political racism lately. That's one of the reasons why a lot of people are unfriending me as well.
So, one of the things that we talk about is to avoid politics. And I did want to tease out the politics because of your content you weave in and out of that lane, but you also have, and I say this all the time, when you're on your social media, on LinkedIn specifically, don't talk about politics, sex, or religion unless you're in the business of politics, sex, or religion, right?
Exactly.
It is something you're involved in as part of one of your missions, and you do this off of your social. So it is, I think it's perfectly appropriate for you to talk about that. But you do speak to something that's important. If I'm trying to sell something and it has nothing to do with politics, it doesn't benefit me to go into politics, right?
Absolutely. And I couldn't agree with you more. Like, my advice to everyone is exactly what you said: stay out of sex, religion, and politics. So, for example, I don't really talk about sex. It's just not our brand, but I talk about religion and politics all the time because it's related to what I do, right?
Right.
And it's all right. And like, so you got to know what you're doing when you dive into that. But the big point that I want to make is that it all depends on what you do. So, for example, politics is a core part of what we do. So we're quite involved with that. And the simple matter of fact is that if someone doesn't, like, for example, our Prime Minister is a great guy by the name of Scott Morrison. If you don't like Scott Morrison, you're not going to like me. And that's okay. Because all our clients are Scott Morrison. Simply the way it goes.
So very interesting. Yeah. So skateboarders.
A lot of kids on skateboards around here. Strange place.
I had a skateboard. I tip my hat to every time I see somebody riding by on a skateboard because that's great fun. You're only young once. Well, we can always be young, I suppose. Can't we, Edward?
Well, it's sort of like, I know people I remember an interesting story, actually. in my early 20s, a very long time ago, I dated a very attractive but a young lady who physically she was in her early 20s, but emotionally she acted like she was 70, right?
Right.
And she was like Captain Buzzkill. Like if you want to destroy a party, you take her with you, right? And then you'll meet, I can't remember, is it Betty White? Is she like from the Golden Girls? She's that 80-year-old.
Right.
Is it Betty White, the octogenarian? Am I getting the right person? Betty White?
Yeah,
Is that her?
Betty White in the U.S. has this sort of mystique about her. She's the really cool woman who happens to be very old.
Yeah. So case in point, you got Betty White, like she's the freaking life of the party, and she's in her 80s, and I want to be like her. I want to be male Betty White in my 80s. I want to be the life of the party.
I'm going to tell you what, Edward, I think we all want to do that, right? That's a great analogy. I think that's fantastic. So we are kind of running towards the end of our time. You got to go someplace there, and it's 9 o'clock in the morning on Australia. I got to go to bed. No, I'm kidding. I need to cut down. It's been a real busy day, but I want you to answer one thing, and you're in that coaching world. You're interested in helping people. So what is it that a young person coming into the business world, about to get their first job, what would you say to them? Here's the one or two things that you've got to make sure you do to succeed at work and in life.
Yeah, I'll give a LinkedIn answer just to keep the answer tight if I can. I'll give a LinkedIn answer. Yeah. Share every day something really positive and cool on LinkedIn. Just do it once a day. It could be a point you're making. It could be an article, because every time you share something cool and positive on LinkedIn, it's going to attract the right people to you, and it's going to help you attract opportunities. And I promise you, if you share something very cool once a day on LinkedIn, after 2 years, you're going to be a very popular and well-liked character.
I love that. Well done. Bravo. All right, Edward, how can people find you? Where do you want people to track you down online?
Well, please, follow me and connect with me on LinkedIn. If you do want to connect, just put in a personal request and just say, Mark Galvin is handsome and sexy. So if you put that in the message, I'll connect with you.
You're never going to get anybody. I'm just going to tell you, nobody's going to say that guy is sexy and handsome. I'm just letting you know. And if they do, I want their number.
As well, everyone, Mark is a great guy. Please connect with wonderful Mark. He is a top man. So, Mark, love your work, my friend.
I love that too. I do appreciate that. And here's something else. I'd love for all of you to think about this. Send Edward a video text, right? Yes. Pop in, hit that little plus sign in the video text on LinkedIn and send him a message. And I'm going to tell you why you should do it with Edward, because you can't screw it up. He'll see it and he'll appreciate you giving it a stab and say, hey, saw you on How's Your ePresence. I'm giving you a video message, and I will tell you what, you're going to watch this. This is like magic. He's going to respond back to you, and you're going to be like, wow, that is cool. The emotion, and I'm going to tell you what, Edwards, there's an emotion that goes with that. The emotional response you get, like, that is kind of, I would say it's kind of creepy. It's kind of cool. It's really neat. It's like you're having a conversation with Edward. So send him a video text. If you just want to connect with him, do that anyway, but please follow him. There is some great things going on. And Edward you have clarity where other people don't. And that clarity that you present is comforting. And you understand, you're able to motivate people in a way that I have not heard of other. And here's the thing, you're doing well because of the way you are so comfortable in your own skin that you're able to help people see their own authentic self. Because that's hard, because there's all this mess that gets in our head that keeps us from being who we are. You got to let that go, and you do a good job of doing that. So everybody, I'm urging you, check out his content, connect with him, because he's not at 30,000 yet, so we can still take a couple more connections. Edward, any final thoughts before we wrap up here?
I just want to say to everyone, if you're not already, post something really cool at least once a day on LinkedIn, and you'll take off, and show Mark Galvin lots of love. And I just want to say thank you for watching. peace, and victory through strength.
That is awesome. So we're going to wrap. We got some other things we're going to talk about before we go. Are you going to split, or can you hang for about 2 minutes as I go through this?
I can hang for 2 minutes. I'm going to sit here and chill out, and I'm just going to see if that crazy man singing or the skater kid's going to come and get me again. So
if you can go find him, we'll keep the show live, and maybe we'll let him sing. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, I think I need to something. Yeah. Anyway, go for it. Go for it. I'm right here, unless a skateboarder takes my PC. But wish me luck on that one.
All right. Well, we'll be right back with you in just a moment. So for the rest of you folks, what a great show. And Edward is a top tier guy. You've got to make sure that you're following him or connecting to him on LinkedIn, and you'll like his content. Thank you for joining us here on How's Your ePresence. If you're curious about ePresence, this is what we do. We manage personal, collegiate, and company social media. So we'll handle the soup to nuts social media for your organization. We'll clean up the executive suite. So the C-suite for your company needs to be online and needs to be active. So how do you do that? Well, a lot of them are too busy to take care of the social media. We'll help you with that. We have college students join us all the time. They're coming out of the Snapchat, Instagram world, trying to figure out how they leverage LinkedIn, and colleges are trying to help them with that. They really need to have somebody on the outside give them that guide. We help them with that. So if you would like more information, you can find us at epresence.me right on the screen. It's epresence.me because it's all about you. Check us out there. If you go to the website and you type in epresence.me/how's your ePresence, we'll give you a 5% discount on all of our services. So epresence.me/how's your ePresence will give you a 5% discount, or give us a call, mention the show, and we'll give you that discount. So you can find us everywhere. We're going to drop this show on all podcast outlets. You can also remember to catch us here on YouTube or on Facebook, and it's right there. Hit that button down there that says follow us on YouTube. We need to grow our followers so that we can reach more and more people, because we have great content that we're always sharing. Help us get that word out. All right, folks. I think that's it. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's it. So until next time, for my guest, Edward Zia, I am Mark Galvin, and this has been How's Your ePresence?